through engaging people, we've improved those Energy Star ratings, but we have a long way to go. But it's been through engaging people in the building. Another key aspect is a tool we call the Energy Navigator. We have over 80 public buildings on this tool. There's kiosks in public places. And the idea behind this is that if taxpayers are paying an energy bill, it'd be great if we make people more aware of how public buildings are performing. And it's also a great tool for managing energy use. But it's all part of making people aware of how buildings operate and getting them involved in doing something about the buildings and their energy future. I won't go into great detail about these charts. Our staff loves them, but I'll be really brief. I'll just focus on this one. This is an example of combined engaging people, putting solar on the building, making some energy efficient retrofits. It has turned this Garfield riding arena into a net electricity producer. What if every large building in the state went through a similar process and people that were interacting with the building on an ongoing basis became very engaged in how that building is, what role that building is playing in terms of carbon emissions or our energy future. And then finally, there are many other strategies that we would like to emphasize, but we wanted to keep it down to 5. The other one is just continually getting the story out there, celebrating success, sharing results. The state has received a great deal of ARA funding, but I don't know if the general public is aware how important that funding was in terms of improving energy efficiency or doing more with renewables. And one thing our effort has done that many other places could benefit from is continually getting the story out there. In fact, I have to share a funny story. When I said to Anna earlier this week, oh, you're just highlighting Garfield County at this morning session, she said, yeah, you guys do a really good job of promoting yourselves. And it comes down to we're so excited about all the successes, and from day one we've said it's not just important to do this work, it's really important to let people know that energy efficiency, clean energy does help the economy, creates jobs. And so we've had a lot of different media outreach. We have a former journalist on our staff. We just held a big awards event where Governor Ritter came and we highlighted a lot of different successes throughout the county. That was great. We do add celebrating different successes, different innovators, try to keep a very high profile, sharing what works, how it worked. And then again, it resulted in this kind of coverage. Front page, very visible, 2-page coverage of all the different results in the county. And we'd love to see that in the Denver Post. If all the different great work that you all are doing, that the Alliance is doing, we're on the front page of the Denver Post, a huge spread talking about how energy efficiency helps the economy. It'd be, really exciting and counter a lot of the myths out there that it's too expensive to address climate protection. Our case has been it's an economic opportunity to do something about it, and the cost of not doing anything is way too high. I want to leave you with this slide because we've talked a lot about how Garfield County is oil and gas country, and it is the county with the second highest number of wells in the state, but we also wanted to emphasize it's also a very beautiful place that also has a lot of great tourism, and it's a great place to visit. So it's that combination of economies, energy, and quality of life that make it a very unique place, but we think it's one that has a lot of approaches that we could use statewide and even beyond Colorado to transform our energy system.
Rifle's known for oil shale and the oil shale bust that occurred back in '82. And that's something that really is always in the back of the community's mind, the idea of, it's this boom and bust economy and what's going to happen next in the energy realm. Alice covered this a little bit and a little bit more on our location. 674 billion cubic feet of natural gas was produced in Garfield County in 2011. That's a lot. And we have 9,000 wells drilled in the last decade. And the vast majority of those wells are within the neighboring surrounds of Rifle. When I first moved to Rifle in 2008, I could see 13 rigs from my house. And so this is where we've come down now, trying to break that boom and bust economy of the energy industry, or the energy economy. We had an opportunities analysis done about 6 or 7 years ago that looked at 3 different components that Rifle could focus on for economic development. And the energy village was the one that really the community attached to, and we've been moving forward with for some time now. And that's looking basically to bridge both the natural gas development that's occurring in our backyard and moving into renewable energy. One of the first things we did in 2007, 2008 is we entered into a power purchase agreement with SunEdison, and that brought the community, the city itself, 2 arrays for a combined total of 2.3 megawatts, which powers our wastewater treatment facility as well as our water intake off the Colorado River. Both of those facilities are basically net zero. They produce way more energy than they actually use. Something that we've also done to move the community into, or engage in the community into this process is we've developed an energy village plan, and this is looking at everything that goes into the community and energy itself. We're an energy community, and we know that. It's been our history, and it will be our future. It's that bridging of the renewables and the conventional fuels. Here's some of the participants that we call it a brain trust. We don't take it very seriously. We don't take ourselves very seriously. We take the subject seriously. And why? We really get together to discuss topics of interest. You'll note, I think the third bullet down, yes, we sit around and daydream about peak oil in Rifle, Colorado. I don't think there are a lot of other communities that may do that. One of our assistant city manager, who is also our planning director, often throws out, in 20 years, are we going to have bananas? And how do we make sure there are bananas in Rifle, or that we can get bananas? We were named by Governor Ritter as a Colorado Sustainable Main Streets community, one of 4 in the state, the others being 5 Points here in Denver, Fowler, and Monte Vista. And this brought us some attention. Now, specific to the Garfield Clean Energy effort, we've got a number of projects that we went forward with. With the grant money that GC brought to the county, we were able to install 3 small arrays in each community, got about $90,000 to own outright some solar and to put on their buildings. We did a performance contract. We did some change out of street lighting to LED lighting. That was back in 08, 09, one of the first in the state to do that. We've refocused on fleets and their usage, appropriate usage, when to use a truck versus a Prius kind of stuff. Fuel diversity, looking at both CNG and electric vehicles for our municipal use. So there's a photo of a brand new parks maintenance building with a big old array, well, a 10 kilowatt array, not that big. This will be expanded here shortly, and I'll get into that a little bit. But we're a community that we like to put the renewable energy out front so people see it. We use it as an educational tool for our residents and visitors. This is also housed right at the entrance of a regional park, which is used year-round by numerous teams throughout the Western Slope. It's a big park. Performance contracting. What's most interesting about the energy performance contracting piece that we did, of the 5 buildings listed here, 2 of them were brand new, and those 2 buildings, after they were built, had substantial energy flaws in them. And we went forward and did a bunch of retro commissioning on those buildings, and we estimate a payoff of 7 years for everything that we did. Spoke a little bit about the LED streetlight conversion. We were fortunate in that we owned a few streets, the streetlights on a few streets, and were able to move forward with that. Here's Senator Bennett with Kirk Swallow, who installed a CNG fueling station in downtown Rifle. It's a fuel that's literally developed in our backyard, and it's one that we include in our portfolio. That's his sign. Electric vehicles, we have a small fleet now of electric vehicles in the city of Rifle, and they're used primarily for code enforcement, building and planning, by the administrative staff to run around town, and our parks department especially. Also, the van is used by our IT guys. We have a number of facilities, and they love getting in there with their computer equipment. One of the new things that we're just moving forward with is another power purchase agreement, this time with Marta for Solar, working with Sol Energy out of Carbondale, and this will install another 700 kilowatts of solar for the city of Rifle. This will take the city's total installed solar capacity to over 3 megawatts, just for the city of Rifle alone. And that doesn't include the the CEC array that's out at the airport, large arrays that have gone up, a number of businesses and whatnot. And this is part of the community awareness piece. We have our hospital is designed to Green Guide for Hospitals. The first LED or LEED certified Hampton Inn is located in Rifle. Habitat was building homes and approached us, and we said, why don't you guys look at doing these as more of a demonstration project? And so they did, and they were built to a high HERS rating, one of which is a net zero house, which the individual that lives in that, they were paying $1,000 for their winter heating bill. Now their mortgage, insurance, taxes, and utilities total $600 a month. We are the host of the largest community-owned solar array in the nation. The Clean Energy Collective built a 700 kilowatt array at the Garfield County Airport on the side, an unusable piece of land on the side of the runway. There's Senator Udall. Lessons learned, it takes time. We're fortunate that we have leadership and the willingness to move forward with these things. One of the big things I want to sell is when communities move forward with these kind of efforts, it's very important to have stories, to have a story to tell. And what has really served us well is having that story of the bridge between conventional and renewable fuels. And we steal ideas. So, for instance, we have a sales and use tax rebate for residents and commercial businesses to install solar on their facilities. They get $3,000 off of their sales and use tax permitting process, and that was designed after a program in Boulder and one in Arizona as well. And that's it. The big piece, the big takeaway is you have to have a vision, you have to plan, and then have action. So.